Introducing the Beme, the revolutionary seating system that puts a child's development and independence at the heart of its design. How to unpack and assemble the Beme seating system. All parts will be contained in polythene bags, with each one clearly labelled. Carefully check you have all the correct parts. Several adjustments will require the use of the multi-tool or long-handled Allen key, which is supplied with each seat. Attaching and detaching seating unit to chassis. Before attaching the seat base, ensure the locking latch at the front is released. If the locking latch is locked, then the following steps should be completed. Locate the right and left grey locking latch release buttons at the front of the seat. Simultaneously rotate the buttons towards the centre of the seat and then press inwards. An audible click will be heard when the latch is released. Once the locking latches are released, the seat base can be placed on the chassis. Lift the seat base with both hands at either side of the seat base. On the rear of the seat base, there are two hooks, which are to be aligned with the rear tube of the chassis interface. Rotate the front of the seat down, pressing down firmly until an audible click of the locking latches locking is heard. Check that it is secure by pulling up on the front and rear of the seat core. To detach the seat, locate and release the locking latches as shown. Then reverse the attachment steps. Attaching and detaching extendable push handle. Small and medium chassis, high-low only. The push handle is attached to the high-low chassis by inserting the two lower stems into the receiving tubes as shown. The push handle has safety poppers, which need to be pressed in when inserting the lower stems. Push the stems in until the poppers protrude from the other end of the receiving tubes. Secure the handle in place by tightening the locking bolts. To detach the handlebars, reverse step, then press in the safety poppers and pull the handlebar tubes out of the lower stems. Attaching the femoral bars. First, secure the hardware into the front two curved slots on the underside of the seat base. Ensure the split washer goes between the larger plain washer and the head of the bolt. Place the locking plate between the moulding and the nut. Secure the nut in place so that the end of the bolt sits flush with the end of the nut. The locking plate should be free to move along the bolt between the moulding and the nut. Orientate the locking plate so that a short edge faces forward. Insert the femoral bar into the cavity in the seat base, ensuring that the locking plate is retained within the femoral bar. Insert the countersunk screw into the seat base cover plate and secure underneath with the nut supplied and retained with the recess in the moulding. Repeat for the other side. Attaching the leg stem. Before attaching the upper leg stem, ensure the clamp is loosened. Then, slot the round boss of the upper leg stem into the clamp from the inside face and retighten the clamp using the Allen key. It may be required to adjust the position of the femoral bar to allow for the upper leg clamp to be inserted. To do this, loosen the bolt on the underside of the seat base and move to a suitable position. Attaching the basic, split, and contoured seat hardware. The front seat plate of the basic, split, and contoured seats secures to the receivers on the seat base. First, locate the downward pointing prongs at the front of the seat plate and the upper slot in the receivers at the end of the femoral bars. Slot the prongs into the left and right receivers, ensuring the two holes on each side align. Once the seat plate prongs are located, securely tighten using the 4 bolts and the Allen key. Attaching the contoured seat. The contoured cushion assembly is secured to the seat plate using Velcro. Located on the underside of the contoured cushion assembly and the top surface of the seat plate. To attach the contoured seat to the seat base, align the front of the seat base platework with the front of the contoured seat foam. Press down to secure the Velcro. Attaching the backrest. To attach the backrest, locate the backrest receiver at the back of the seat base. Open up the receiver lock paddles at the back of the seat base by pulling horizontally outwards on the paddles and then rotating upwards. Place the base of the backrest into the receiver, ensuring it is as deep into the receiver as it can go. Rotate the paddles downwards and push inwards to secure the backrest in place. Check that it is secure by pulling up on the backrest and moving it forward and back. Attaching the footrest. To attach the footrest, orientate the locking plate within the lower leg stem so that the short edge faces upwards. Slot the lower leg stem over the end of the upper leg stem, ensuring that the locking plate is retained within the upper leg stem extrusion. Secure in place with the bolt using the Allen key. The individual footrests can be attached independently, whereas the single foot plate requires both lower leg stems to be slotted onto the upper leg stems simultaneously. Attaching the armrest. To attach the armrest, locate the slot on the sides of the seat base and orientate the armrest with the adjustment cam levers facing outwards. Place the armrest stem into the slot and push downwards. Check that the armrest is self-locked by pulling upwards on the armrest. Attaching the sandals. Insert the required attachment bolt along with the retention plate. Place a rubber lid on both the top and bottom of the sandal. Fasten using the 4 screws provided. To remove or replace the attachment bolt, reverse this process. To attach the sandal, place it on the footplate so that the attachment bolt goes through the slot in the footplate. To secure, place the rubber washer, metal washer and knob onto the attachment bolt on the underside of the footplate and tighten. Attaching the ankle huggers. To attach the ankle huggers, slide the webbing through the side slot in the footplate. Loop the webbing back up and through the bottom, and then top of the tri-glide. Finally, to lock the webbing in place, pass it through the bottom of the tri-glide again. Attaching the ankle wraps. To attach the ankle wrap, feed the lower and upper poppers of the ankle wrap under and over the back arch of the sandal and snap together. Attaching the booties. To attach the booties, slide the webbing through the side slot in the footplate. Loop the webbing back up and through the bottom and then top of the tri-glide. Finally, to lock the webbing in place, pass it through the bottom of the tri-glide again. Attaching the lateral bracket. Basic backrest. To attach the lateral bracket to the basic backrest, place the T-nut into the vertical slot from the front side of the backrest platework. Mesh the two sides of the radial clamps together and locate the protrusion into the slot in the bracket. Locate the opposite protrusion of the radial clamp into the slot of the backrest, ensuring the radial clamp sits flush with the surface of the platework. Ensure the T-nut nests between the two surfaces of the radial clamp at the front of the backrest. Place the split washer, then the plain washer onto the bolt and pass it through the hole in the radial clamp, engaging the threads of the T-nut. Secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the lateral bracket, moderate and complex backrest. To attach the lateral bracket to the moderate and complex backrest, place the T-nut into the slot in the lateral bracket. Mesh the two sides of the radial clamps together and locate the protrusion of the radial clamp into the slot in the opposite side of the lateral bracket. Place the radial clamps into the recess at the front of the thoracic moulding, ensuring the protrusion of the radial clamp drops into the vertical slot. Place the split washer, then the plain washer onto the bolt and pass it through the vertical slot at the back of the thoracic moulding, engaging the threads of the T-nut. Secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the slim lateral. To attach the slim lateral to the lateral bracket, first place the machined boss into the corresponding slot in the slim lateral plastic pad. Position this assembly against the inside surface of the lateral bracket, so that the bracket locates into the recess of the plastic pad and the machined part locates in the slot of the lateral bracket. Place the plain washer onto the bolt and pass it through the threaded hole in the machined part and secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the complex lateral. To attach the complex lateral to the lateral bracket, first place the nut into the recess of the lateral plastic moulding. Position this assembly against the inside surface of the lateral bracket, so that the bracket locates into the recess of the plastic moulding. Place the plane washer onto the bolt and pass it through the hole in the moulding, engaging the threads of the nut. Secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the protraction pad. To attach the protraction pad, align the two holes of the protraction pad platework with the corresponding holes of the lateral bracket, ensuring the bend in the platework points away from the lateral pad. Place the two bolts through these holes and secure in place on a rigid bracket. Secure the bolts with two nuts provided and a 10mm spanner. Attaching the hip guides, basic backrest. To attach the hip guides to the basic backrest, place the T-nut into the hole at the front of the basic backrest platework, ensuring the long edge of the T-nut is in line with the rectangular plate. Place the bracket into the recess at the back of the basic backrest platework. Place the split washer, then the plane washer onto the bolt and pass it through the slot, engaging the threads of the T-nut. Secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the hip guides, moderate and complex backrest. To attach the hip guides to the moderate and complex backrest, place the T-nut into the slot at the front of the hip guide bracket. Place the bracket into the recess in the front of the sacral moulding, ensuring the short edges of the T-nut are in line with the top and bottom surfaces of the recess. Place the split washer, then the plane washer onto the bolt and pass it through the hole at the back of the sacral moulding, engaging the threads of the T-nut. Secure in place with the Allen key. Attaching the small basic backrest spacer. To attach the small basic backrest spacer, remove the cushion cover from the backrest and remove the 4 screws, top and bottom, to separate the backrest platework from the clamps. Secure the spacers using the 4 longer screws onto the top and bottom clamps. Place the backplate spacer onto the front surface of the lower clamp moulding. Reattach the backrest platework by securing the 4 screws, top and bottom. Attach the cushion foam, secure using the 4 screws and a 10mm spanner. Attaching the headrest. To attach the headrest, ensure the clamp is open by loosening the bolt and releasing it from the other side of the clamp. Place the clamp over the top bar of the backrest and centralize. Clamp together by using the Allen key. Attaching the tray. Before inserting the tray, ensure that the cam lever, located at the front of each armrest, is open. To attach the tray, insert the tray tubes through the center of the armrest, ensuring that the tray tube protrudes out the other side of the receiver. Once the tray is in the desired position, the cam lever should be tightened securely. Attaching the butterfly harness. To attach the butterfly harness, first locate the cam buckles at the top rear area of the backrests. Pass the webbing through the cam buckle and secure in place by clamping down. The bottom connection points are on the back of the seat base. Pass the webbing through the cam buckle at the back of the seat core and secure in place by clamping down. Attaching the rain canopy. To attach the rain canopy backrest tube needs to be installed. To remove the existing backrest tube, loosen the bolts of the backrest height adjustment clamp and shoulder pad clamp and raise the tube up to the maximum height. Press in the poppers at the sides of the tube and lift to full release the backrest tube. Slide the rain canopy bracket onto the backrest. Slide the shoulder pad clamp onto the rain canopy backrest tube and secure the bolts. Place the ends of the backrest tube into the receivers of the backrest height clamp. Press in the poppers at the sides and push the backrest tube down further. Tighten the bolts of the backrest height adjustment clamp. To attach the rain canopy, slide the connectors down and over the receiver and rotate the clip inwards to snap into position. Attaching and detaching elbow blocker. Remove the 2 washers and bolts. Position the elbow blocker bracket so that the edge of the pad rests on the top surface of the tray and align the holes. Reattach the 2 bolts and washers and secure using the Allen key. Attaching the 4-point belt. To attach the 4-point belt, pass the grey webbing through the upper slot in the seat moulding and then through the cam buckle. Pass the black webbing through the cam buckle at the front. Pull the webbing taut and secure the cam buckles. Ensure the belt is orientated with padding facing towards child. Attach the buckle at the front to secure the user. Attaching the pelvic cradle. Place the cradle on the seat base cushion. The pelvic cradle is labelled to indicate the correct orientation. Attach the rear Velcro strap up into the cavity within the thoracic backrest cushion. Pass the black webbing through the cam buckles at either side of the front of the seat and secure the cam buckles. Pass the grey webbing through the cam buckles at either side of the back of the seat and secure the cam buckles. Attach the buckle at the front to secure the user. Attaching the dynamic back. To attach the dynamic backrest, the static backrest plate must first be removed. Remove the 2 top and back bolts and remove the cover moulding. Remove the central bolt and the static backrest plate. Align the holes of the aluminium bracket of the dynamic back assembly with the holes on the seat base. Secure using the 5 bolts provided. Rotate the dynamic back assembly around so that the holes in the aluminium block align and secure using the 2 bolts provided. Attaching the shoulder wing upgrade, moderate backrest only. To attach the shoulder wing upgrade, the shoulder blank moulding must first be removed by unscrewing the 3 screws holding it in place using the Allen key. Remove the shoulder blank moulding and replace with the shoulder wing upgrade, ensuring that it is orientated in such a way that the head of the bolt is pointed upwards. Secure in place with the 3 screws using the Allen key. Do not over-tighten. Attaching the angle offset on the shoulder section, moderate backrest only. To attach the angled shoulder spacer, remove the 4 screws to separate the moulding from the clamp. Place the backplate pacer onto the front surface of the clamp moulding. Secure the angled shoulder spacer using the 4 longer screws. Reattach the shoulder moulding by tightening the screws into the angled shoulder spacer. Attaching the pommel. The pommel attaches to the basic seat only. To attach the pommel, open the cam lock at the front of the seat and place the pommel bracket through the opening in the seat cushion and into the receiver slot on the seat. To secure in place, push down firmly on the cam lock. Orientate the pommel so that it sits external to the seating area. Attaching the femoral guides. To attach the femoral guide, slot the femoral guide stem into the receiver on the seat and press downwards. Check that the femoral guide has self-locked by pulling upwards on the femoral guide. For more information on the Beme, please refer to the user manual or visit our website at leckey.com. For further information on cleaning and care, daily product inspection and safe operation, please refer to your Leckey Beme user manual.